Hello. The World Tang Soo Association requires its members, particularly Chodanbos or black belt candidates, to memorize the 14 attitude requirements. And since there are a lot of them, I thought I would put together this video to share how I memorized them and how I made them stick. So first of all, is this the only way to memorize them? Well, no. This video shares the connections I made between the requirements and their numbers. Another thing I did was to make a recording of myself speaking the requirements. I then played it in the car and when I was around the house, and repeated the requirements after the recording, much like you do with a language tape. That and the connections I'm about to share with you really allowed me to effectively commit these to memories. However, the important thing is that you do what works for you. All right, let's begin. Number 1. The first and most important thing is, why are we doing this? Why are we practicing Tang Soo? Or, what is the purpose? And Grandmaster Shin answers this by saying, purpose of training should be enhancement of mental and physical betterment. Okay, that is why we are doing this. That's the first thing, which makes sense. One thing I wanted to point out here, literally by underlining it, is the word enhancement. And this, I think, is a very powerful word, because the purpose of training should be enhancement of mental and physical betterment. That means you are improving your own journey of mentally and physically bettering yourself, which means you're already doing that on your own. And so Tang Soo all it does is enhances that, or makes this a more accessible goal, or speeds you along on your goal. This one word shows us the very positive mentality that Grandmaster Shin had, that all of us are on our path of mental and physical betterment, and Tang Soo enhances our journey along that path. All right, let's continue with number 2. 2 words. Serious approach. So we have number 1, which was long and explains the purpose, the whole start of this. Why are we doing this? Number 2, 2 words, serious approach. Number 3 has 3 words, all out effort. Number 4. Number 4 starts with the letter M, and I remember that because the letter M is made up of 4 slashes, or 4 lines. And this stands for maintain regular and constant practice. And if you drop the and out of there, you get 4 words. So number 2 has 2 words, number 3 has 3 words, and number 4 is for the 4 slashes of the M, or maintain regular constant practice, because a lot of the time we don't even count short words like and the. Now, we're going to focus on the word practice, because now we're going to repeat that for number 5, which is practice basic techniques all the time. So if you're reciting these out loud, you have maintain regular and constant practice, practice basic techniques all the time. All right, moving on to number 6. I think of this mathematically. 6 is a fun number. It can be either 3 plus 3, or it can be 2 plus 2 plus 2. And I think of that, especially the 2 plus 2 plus 2, as regular spacing, right? It's very nice and even. And that kicks in for attitude requirement number 6, which is regularly spaced practice sessions. Number 7. When I'm not practicing Tang Soo, sometimes I play computer games, and in the chat, other players will sometimes type the letter O and 7. This is code for someone saluting. Now, in Tang Soo, we don't salute so much as bow, but we do that to show respect to our instructors and our senior members of the dojang. Okay, so I see 7 as showing respect to your instructors and seniors, and therefore we have always listened to and follow the direction of instructors and seniors, and please note that direction is singular. So number 7, we have the salute referring to our higher ranked and instructors. All right, number 8. When I think of this attitude requirement, I take the number 8 and I put it on its side. And when it's on its side, it's even and it's balanced. And that, to me, is the idea behind attitude requirement number 8, which is do not be overly ambitious, which is you should be balanced in your approach to Tang Soo. On the one hand, yes, you want to strive, but you don't want to be overly so. Number 9, I feel, helps you accomplish number 8, and that is frequently inspect your own achievements. So first, the goal is be balanced, and number 9 is how to get there. Okay, number 10. So if we take the word 10 and we move the E over and we substitute the E for an I, we get tine or teen, which brings us to attitude requirement number 10. Always follow a routine training schedule. For number 11, I think of the number 11 as repeating ones. You have 1 repeated by 1. And that gives us repeatedly practice all techniques already learned. For number 12, 11 plus 1 is 12, obviously. And that 1, I think of that as going beyond, right? You're not just repeatedly practicing the techniques, but you're doing more than that. And that brings us to the attitude requirement. When you learn new techniques, learn thoroughly the theory and philosophy as well. That is, when you're learning new techniques, don't only learn the blocks, the strikes, the kicks. Why are we doing these things? Which makes sense because you can't really understand what you're doing if you don't understand why. 13 is the number that we associate with bad things, in particular bad luck. For example, Friday the 13th. And attitude requirement number 13 is also associated with a bad thing, and that is feeling idle. So when you begin to feel idle, try to overcome this. I would like to take a moment to point out that Grandmaster Shin used the word when, not if, showing that he understood that there are always times in our training, which sometimes takes years, when you are going to be feeling a little iffy or a little unexcited about your Tang Soo journey. And so this is a normal part of training. When, not if, but when you begin to feel idle. And the last one, number 14. Number 14 comes after all of the others. It is the last one. And so it makes sense that number 14 talks about after your training. Cleanliness is required after training. Keep yourself and your surroundings clean. Training spaces also to be clean. So again, you and your classmates can stay healthy. All right, so this is how I remember the 14 attitude requirements, and I hope this was helpful. Take care, Tang Soo.